Having said that, of course, Kilronan Castle is a great place to go for tea or coffee, and you pay maybe an extra couple of euro rather than go to a coffee house, you know. So it is accessible. Right, so I'm going to give you the little guided tour now. I'm going to drive as slowly as I can. So just here on the left is the beautiful Lough Meelagh. I'll just turn this camera around a wee bit so we can see. This is Lough Meelagh, and right up alongside Lough Meelagh is Kilronan Castle, which we can't see here from the road. So I'm just going to turn the camera back round. So Kilronan Castle, Kilronan Castle was built, I think it was the 19th century or the 18th century, but there's always been like a royal dwelling place on this site, because it was home to the O.Connor kings, and the O'Connors, of course, had had the kingship of Ireland, the kingship of Connaught anyway at one point, and so there's a lot of history. Now Kilronan Castle is also reputed to be haunted. I can bear testament to that a little bit, because I have spoken with people who work up there, and there are certain places in the old part of the castle where they don't like to go. So you can see Lough Meelagh now on my left. Okay. And Kilronan Mountain is on my right. And I know someone said on a comment at one point, "Mountain? That's not a mountain. Our mountains are blah blah blah, this high, whatever." Well, all I can say is, that's a mountain, okay. In Ireland, this is a mountain. Don't try to go into competition with our mountains. I'll have none of it. So now we're just turning into the grounds of Kilronan Castle. There's a car behind me, so I'm just, oh no, that's okay, because they're pulling in. So we'll go as slowly as possible up through the grounds. No, I think what I might do is just stop here just for a moment and let this car go ahead of me. There's a car coming down as well. Because I don't want to be sort of held hostage to someone who's driving behind me. Oh, and the car's coming back up. Just bear with me now on this. There we go. Now, it is slow, 15 kilometres an hour. Well, they hardly go at 15 kilometres an hour, I can tell you. But I'm going to go at 15 kilometres an hour now. So, just to the left, there is the beautiful lake, Lough Meelagh. And it was part of the Anglo-Irish ascendancy owned the castle. They were the Tennyson Kings. The Tennyson Kings. Now there would have been a relation of some sort between the people who owned the castle here and the people who owned Lough Forest Park and the big house down there. They were called the Harmon Kings, so there would have been an association. So it was the Tennyson Kings that owned this castle, and then it was falling down and really was very close to total oblivion when it was bought by a guy called Hanley, who rebuilt the entire place and opened it then as a hotel. So you can see there's a fair amount of cars coming and going today. And this is because the hotel is used a lot for weddings. Because of course here in Ireland we love a good old wedding or a good old death. Any excuse for a celebration, you know. And people would normally be celebrating a wedding for a couple of days at least. So weddings are held at hotels, and all the guests would come and stay, and there'd be a great deal of celebration. So what I'll do is I'll just drive right up to the hotel. And Christy, if you're watching this now, this gives you a little taste of where you're going to be staying. It is beautiful inside. I'm sure Christy will do a little film of the inside of it when her and Dean arrive. It is gorgeous. It's quite sumptuous. There's a coach here. So there's quite a lot of American tourists and other people, people from all over the world stay here. It's becoming more and more popular. So I'm just going to drive down and then just around to where the old walled gardens would have been. So just round here, just in front of us now, there's some stone walls. And when the Tennyson King family owned the house, that would have been the kitchen garden. Now this is a very interesting, let me see, I can't actually, let me see if I can show you. Just be careful backing up here. So, okay, now can you see, just in front of us where those trees are, that's a little tunnel, it's like a little laneway. It's actually called, just above it's called a ha-ha, and a ha-ha covers something, but gives it some continuity. So anyway, you can look that up in the dictionary. I'm not explaining myself very well, but this would have been for the servants to go into the castle when it was owned by the Anglo-Irish ascendancy. And this was so as the servants would not be seen, and also the horses and carts bringing deliveries to the castle kitchens, they would not be seen either. So they would go in on this level and they'd appear then to kind of disappear underground, but in fact that gets deeper and deeper, and you can see some little arches up there at the top of the trees, underneath the trees, and that would have been part of the little stabling block for deliveries. So just drive up to the top here. So this bit here on the left, all that's new, and that houses at the very underground part of it, it houses a swimming pool and gym and everything else. Now all that's open to the public. So if ever I wanted to go swimming, it would cost me €12. And for €12 I can go in and stay as long as I like. And I can also use the jacuzzi and the steam room and the showers. So, it's not bad, is it? And then over here to the right are these houses, and I think some of them are for sale. So what we're going to do is we're just going to drive on down here a little bit. And there's this beautiful forest on the left, and that takes us all the way down to the Lough. I don't want to go too far down this road because it kind of ends. Well, it doesn't end. It actually goes all the way to Ballyfarnan, but there are some serious potholes in it because it's not used very much. So there's a little laneway there that takes you down to the lough. So I'm just going to turn around here as best I can. You can see there's some snow still here. The reason why I'm filming this is because I'm actually on my way over to Ballyfarnan. I'm going to buy some peat briquettes. They're a little form of fuel. So there's a garage over there that sells them. So these are the houses here that are for sale. It'd be lovely, wouldn't it, to own a house right beside the castle. And there's the walled garden. You can see the wall, the big stone wall there, and that goes all the way around. I think that the walled garden covered at least an acre. And they would have been the kitchen gardens, you see, for supplying all the food to the castle. It's a lovely colour of a coat that woman's wearing. I love that colour. It's like a fuchsia purple. And then just over there you can see, in fact I'm going to pull in here and have a little look. There would have been an archway here at this point. You see where that big metal gate is? That would have been an arched entrance to the kitchen gardens. And then just there would have been, I suspect, the gardeners' cottages. So all the evergreen trees that you see at Bealtaine Cottage, they're all grown from seeds that I collected down here. So the mother trees to the Bealtaine evergreens are all here at Kilronan. Get quite a nice view of the lough driving down the driveway. There, you can just see it. Isn't that lovely? And then out on the lough there are some little round islands. In fact, you can see one as you drive down. I'll just stop and point it out. They're called crannogs, and the crannogs are man-made islands. And the ancient tribes of Ireland would have built these crannogs. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there is a crannog out there on the lough. Anyway, the ancient peoples built them because they were just, fantastic for living in a defensive area. So they would have been safe on there with their families at night, away from all the incredibly diverse wild animals that would have been very much part of life here. Wild boar and great elk and probably bears as well, and definitely wolves, because of course Ireland would have been covered with the most incredible forests. So these trees on the right, they're completely covered with lichens because we've had such a damp winter. It's been such a wet winter.